The shower hissed softly as steam filled the small bathroom. Jack, a young human soldier, stepped out of the hot water. He dried his face, rubbed his hair with a towel, and hummed a simple tune. The day had been long. Training was hard. He wanted nothing more than to clean up and rest. He reached for his clothes, then stopped. He had forgotten to bring clean ones from the storage locker. "Just great," he muttered. Naked, dripping, and annoyed, Jack grabbed the towel and wrapped it around his waist. He stepped out of the bathroom into the shared living space, planning to rush to his room. But at that exact moment, the front door slid open. Zira walked in. She was tall, with pale blue skin, silver eyes, and long black hair tied behind her sharp ears. Her race, the Thalkai, were known for being cold, logical, and emotionless. She wore her black uniform neatly, her face calm and still as always. But when she saw Jack, she froze, completely still. Jack's eyes went wide. "Oh, sorry." He shouted and turned away quickly, grabbing the towel tighter. But Zira didn't move. She just stood there, staring. Her eyes glowed faintly. Her lips parted as if she had stopped breathing. "Zira?" Jack said carefully, glancing over his shoulder. "Are you okay?" She didn't answer. Her eyes ran across his body, his chest, his arms, his skin still wet from the shower. She blinked, slowly, like she was seeing something strange, something dangerous. Then, without a word, she turned and walked quickly into her room. The door slid shut behind her. Jack stood there, confused and embarrassed. What just happened? He sighed and rushed into his room, still wrapped in the towel. Inside her room, Zira sat on the edge of her bed, her hands shaking slightly. She had never felt this before. Her race did not feel the way humans did. They were trained to control every thought, every emotion. Attraction, desire, warmth, those were things her people believed were weaknesses, ancient things, primitive things. But when she saw Jack naked, strong, and completely unguarded, something deep inside her had awakened. Her heart had started to beat faster. Her skin felt warm, her breathing had changed, and worse, her eyes had glowed. That only happened when something biological was triggered. She stood up and walked to the mirror. Her face looked the same, but her eyes still held a faint shimmer. "What is this?" she whispered. She placed her hand over her chest. Her heart still beat too fast. No. This was not normal. She opened her comlink and called the med-center. Later that evening, Jack sat on the couch, eating a protein bar and watching a screen. But his mind was still on Zira. They had shared this room for 6 months. She was always quiet, polite, and distant. She never showed emotion, never smiled, never frowned. She followed rules perfectly, but today, she looked at him like he shook the thought away. "No way," he whispered. "She's an alien, probably just surprised, that's all." But still, something about her face stuck in his mind. She didn't look shocked. She looked hungry. Zira sat alone in the med center. The alien doctor, another Thalkai like her, read the results from the scanner. He frowned. "This is not possible," he said. Zira's voice was calm, but her eyes were serious. "Then explain it." "You're showing signs of an early bond response. That shouldn't happen anymore. Our race moved past that long ago." "Yet it's happening," Zira said. "And I know when it started." The doctor narrowed his eyes. "You made contact?" "No, I only saw him, the human." The doctor's expression changed to concern. "Zira, you must avoid him. Stay apart. If the response grows stronger, your control will break. And if the bond completes—" "I know," she said quietly. "That's why I need help." The doctor gave her a cold look. "This is not a medical issue. It's a genetic curse. One we chose to bury centuries ago. If others find out, you'll be seen as impure." Zira clenched her fists. "Then they won't find out. She stood and walked out of the med center, her heart still racing. That night, Jack lay in bed, thinking about her. In the room next to his, Zira stared at the wall, her glowing eyes dim in the dark. Both of them were thinking the same thing. Something had changed. Neither of them could explain it, but neither of them could ignore it either. And this was just the beginning. Zira wasn't in her room the next morning. Jack noticed it the moment he woke up. Her bedroom door was open, her bed untouched. The air inside felt cold, empty. He walked through the kitchen, rubbed his eyes and frowned. Weird, she always wakes earlier than me. Suddenly, the front door opened with a soft hiss. Zira stepped inside slowly. Jack looked up. Her face looked pale more than usual. Her eyes were distant, like she had seen something terrifying. She avoided eye contact and walked past him in silence. "Hey," Jack said, "are you okay?" "I'm fine," she replied quickly, too quickly. Her voice was tight, controlled, but not natural. Jack turned to face her. "You're not fine. You didn't come home last night." "I stayed at the med center," she answered without looking at him. "For what?" Zira paused. Her hands twitched slightly at her side. Then she said, "Routine scan, nothing important." Jack narrowed his eyes. "Zira, you're acting different. Is it because of yesterday?" Her body stiffened. She didn't answer. Instead, she turned and walked toward her room. Jack didn't stop her, but he didn't look away either. That night, while Jack was out on duty, Zira stood alone in the shared living room. The lights were low. The room was quiet. She stared at Jack's jacket hanging on the back of a chair. Slowly, like her hands were moving without asking her mind, she stepped forward. She reached out and touched it. It was still warm. The scent of his skin, his body, still clung to the cloth. And the moment her fingers brushed the jacket, her knees went weak. Zira gasped and grabbed the table for balance. Her skin burned. Her heart slammed. Inside her chest, "No," she whispered. "Control it. Breathe." But the feeling wouldn't go away. Images flashed in her mind. Jack's eyes, his arms, his voice. Her fingers gripped the jacket tighter. And then the door opened. Jack stepped inside, sweaty from training. "Zira, I'm back." He stopped mid-sentence. Zira froze. Caught holding his jacket. She slowly turned, her face pale blue, her hands trembling. They stared at each other in silence. She started, but the words died in her throat. Jack walked forward slowly. "You were holding my jacket?" She said nothing. "You okay?" he asked again, softer this time. Zira closed her eyes. "I don't know." Her voice cracked. Later. That night, Zira stood alone in the dark, outside the med center. Her thoughts were racing. Inside, the alien doctor reviewed the second round of tests. He called her in. "You said it's getting worse," he began. Zira nodded. "Yes, I'm feeling pulled, drawn to him. I couldn't stop myself. I touched his things." The doctor looked troubled. "You are entering a rare phase. The old texts call it Ilar Kif, the heat of the bond." Zira's eyes widened. "I thought that was a myth." He shook his head. "Not a myth, just forbidden knowledge. Your body is reacting to the human's pheromones, his scent, his presence. If you continue, the bond will complete on its own. And if I resist, you'll begin to deteriorate. Pain, weakness, madness. Your kind never needed this. Until now." Zira looked down. "What should I do?" "Leave him, immediately. Transfer ships. If you don't, you may not survive the next phase." But she couldn't leave. Not yet. Not when Jack had looked at her with kindness. Not judgment. Not when she had felt warmth in her chest for the first time in her life. She returned home late and quietly. She found Jack asleep on the couch. His head rested back, one arm over his chest, the soft hum of the screen playing Old Human music in the background. Zira stared at him, and something inside her whispered, "You're not afraid of him." You need him. She knelt beside the couch, close enough to feel his warmth. Her hand moved forward, just inches away from his, but she stopped herself and whispered only one word. Why, you? Zira woke up gasping. Her fingers were clutching the bedsheet, soaked in cold sweat. Her chest rose and fell quickly. The room was quiet, but her mind was loud. She had dreamt of him, not war. Not orders, not numbers. Him. Jack single quotes SIs. His voice. His scent. And something else. Warmth. Her species didn't dream that way. She sat up and touched her chest. Her heartbeat was fast, too fast. I need control, she whispered. This is dangerous. She stood and walked to her closet. But her hands stopped. When she saw his shirt, the one he had thrown into the laundry basket, the day before. It was still there, still carrying his scent. Something inside her broke. She reached for it. Meanwhile, Jack stood in the training yard under the alien sun, punching the practice bag. His fists hit harder than usual. Sweat rolled down his neck. He couldn't stop thinking about last night. Zira had touched his jacket. That alone wasn't strange. What was strange was how she looked at him, like she was confused by her own feelings, like she didn't know if she wanted to run or get closer. Jack punched again, harder. He didn't know what was happening between them, but it was changing. The air between them felt different, warmer, sharper. She's just a roommate, he muttered to himself, but the words sounded like a lie. Zira held Jack's shirt in her hands. It was soft, worn, still warm from the last time he wore it. She pressed it to her chest, and she felt peace. Her glowing eyes flickered softly. Suddenly, her body tensed. Her skin pulsed with heat. Her markings, hidden under her skin, flashed faint light. No, not now. The bond was growing. She was losing the battle. She stumbled back, gasping. Her body reacting as if it knew something her mind didn't want to admit. Then the alarm beeped. The door opened. Jack stepped inside and stopped. There she was, standing in the center of the room, holding his shirt, her skin glowing faintly, and her eyes shocked locked on his. Zira. She tried to speak, but her mouth wouldn't open. Why are you holding my shirt? He asked softly, walking closer. Her voice broke. She dropped the shirt like it burned her. I don't know what's happening to me, she finally whispered. Jack looked at her, really looked. Her face was flushed, her hands shook. She looked scared, not like a warrior, not like a Thalkai, but like a woman trying hard not to break. Tell me, he said, gentler now. Are you sick? She laughed quietly, but it was a broken sound. No, Jack, I'm not sick. She looked into his eyes. I'm changing. That night, Zira sat across from Jack at the small dining table. The lights were low. The mood was quiet. She finally told him the truth. The Thalkai once had a bonding instinct, a way our bodies chose a mate. It was lost long ago, controlled, deleted, but it's back? Jack asked. She nodded. And it chose you, Jack blinked. Me? Zira nodded again. It started when I saw you. Your scent, your voice, your presence. It's waking something I was never supposed to feel, is it? Dangerous? He asked. For me? She said softly. Yes, if I don't complete the bond, my body might begin to break down. It's slow, but painful. Jack sat back, eyes wide. I'm not asking for anything, Zira quickly added. I don't want you to feel forced. I need space, and maybe distance. Jack was silent for a moment. Then he leaned forward. Zira, I won't run. Not if you're suffering. She stared at him, shocked. I don't know what this bond means, he added. But I'm not leaving you alone with it. Her voice was barely a whisper. Even if I lose control, Jack nodded. Especially then. But outside their room, someone was watching. An alien officer in a dark uniform stood in the hallway. A listening device pressed to the wall. He had heard everything. And he smiled. Cross-species bonding. Illegal under command law, he whispered to himself. The council will want to hear this. Zira collapsed to her knees in the shower. Water poured over her skin, but she felt no relief. Her body trembled, her hands gripped the walls like she was falling. Her breath came in shallow gasps. The burning was back. Worse now, inside her chest. Something wild was awakening, not exactly. It was need, not hunger, not thirst, bond-heat, she whispered. Jack's name without meaning to. Her lips trembled as she said it again, soft, weak. Jack. The cold logic of her race was melting inside her. And in its place was something old. Something primal. Her body wasn't just reacting anymore. It was calling. And it was calling him. Jack was in his room when he heard the crash. He jumped up, rushed to the bathroom door, and found it slightly open. Zira? She was on the floor, curled into herself, eyes glowing brightly now, her skin glistening with sweat and water. She didn't answer. He rushed to her, knelt beside her, touched her shoulder. Her skin was burning hot. She flinched, but didn't pull away. Zira, talk to me. What's happening? Her voice was barely a whisper. It's the bond. I can't fight it anymore. Jack didn't understand all of it, but he understood she was in pain. Deep pain. What do I do? He asked. She turned her face toward him, tears in her glowing eyes. I need warmth, she said. Pressure, calm, I need you close. He hesitated. Then, slowly, gently, he helped her up, wrapped her in a towel, and carried her to her bed. She didn't resist. Later, she lay in bed, shaking under the blanket. Jack sat beside her, not touching her, but not far either. Her breathing had slowed. Just a little. I'm sorry, she said. For what? Jack asked. For being this weak. For dragging you into this. You didn't choose this. Jack looked at her, really looked. You're not weak. You're going through something I can't even begin to understand. And I'm not leaving. Zira blinked slowly. Her glowing eyes softened. I was taught to be strong, cold, perfect, she whispered. But now my body is betraying me. All because of you. Jack gave a small smile. I don't know if I should feel guilty or flattered. She gave a soft, broken laugh. The first time he'd ever heard her laugh, even in pain. It was beautiful. But as they sat there, warm and close, a red light blinked silently near the door. Hidden recording device. Installed hours ago. Transmitting everything to the alien military station above the planet. In the council chamber of the Thalke command. Cold eyes watched the footage. The leader spoke. The human and the Thal Kai female have entered Forbidden's Phase 1 bonding. Another general growled. That bond must be stopped before it completes. And if the human resists? The answer was quick. Then, eliminate him. Back in the room, Zira stirred under the blanket. Her body temperature was stabilizing. Her head was resting gently near Jack's shoulder. Jack, yeah? There's something I didn't tell you. What is it? She lifted her eyes. If the bond completes, and then breaks, I won't survive it. Jack went still. Her next words were softer than a breath. If you walk away after it's complete, I'll die. Silence filled the room. He didn't speak for a while. Then finally he said, that I won't walk away, but in the shadows. Others were preparing to take him by force. Would you like to continue with part 5 now? It will have rising danger, emotional intensity. And the moment the bond starts to activate. It started with light. A soft glow under Zira's skin. It pulsed from her chest, spreading slowly to her shoulders, her arms, her face. She didn't notice it at first. She was sleeping, finally peaceful, her body resting against Jack's chest, her hand loosely holding his. But Jack saw it. He sat still, eyes wide, staring at her glowing body. It wasn't just strange. It was beautiful. And something about it made his heart ache. He didn't move. He didn't want to break the moment, but Then, she opened her eyes. They glowed too. She looked at him with surprise, then fear. "I didn't mean to," she whispered. Jack shook his head. "It's okay." "No," she said, panicked. "It started on its own. The bond, it's beginning." "I can't stop it." Jack leaned closer. "Tell me what that means." Zira swallowed hard. "Once the glow reaches your skin, it chooses you. It accepts you. And then, I won't be able to let go." Jack looked at her hand still wrapped in his. "It already has," he said softly. Zira trembled. Her body leaned forward. She rested her forehead on his shoulder. Her voice was weak, like a child's. "I don't want to be taken from you." He placed his hand on the back of her head. "No one's taking you." But outside their door, someone was coming. 2 soldiers stood in the hallway. Thalkai. Elite enforcers, faces cold. Suits armed. They had orders: separate the bonded. Detain the human. Clean the mess. One pressed a code into the door panel. The door beeped red locked. He frowned. "He's locked them in." The other one smiled. "Then we break it." They raised a quiet laser drill, and the lock began to melt. Inside, Zira suddenly sat up. She clutched her chest. Her body shook. "What's wrong?" Jack asked, alarmed. "I feel danger." Jack grabbed his shirt, pulled it over his head. "Stay here." She grabbed his hand. "No, don't open the door." "How do you know something's out there?" She looked at him, eyes full of fire and fear. "Because the bond warns me." The moment she said it, the lock exploded. The door burst open. Smoke filled the room. 2 black-armored Thalkai stepped inside. Jack pushed Zira behind him. "Don't come any closer," he said, fists clenched. The taller one spoke. "Step aside, human. The female has violated alliance law. She is unstable." Jack didn't move. "She's not a threat," he said. The second soldier raised a weapon. "You are." Zira stepped forward. "No, if you take him now, I'll die," she said, her voice shaking. The soldiers paused. The glow under her skin was brighter now, warm, radiant, and wild. "She's an active bond." One whispered. "We're too late," said the other. Zira's markings flared, and a wave of energy burst from her skin, knocking the soldiers back. She collapsed to the floor. Jack caught her. Her body was hot. Her heart beat fast. "What's happening?" he asked. Zira's lips trembled. "The bond is choosing you, right now." "Then let it," he said. She looked up at him, eyes filled with glowing tears. "You accept it?" He didn't hesitate. "Yes." And then it happened. Zira's light spilled into his skin like warm electricity. He gasped. His vision blurred. His chest burned, but not with pain. With connection. Her heartbeat. Her thoughts. Her emotions all rushing into him like a rising tide. Zira gripped him tighter. And whispered the words she had never said to anyone. "Please don't let go." Jack didn't. He held her close. As the glow wrapped around them both. Outside the room, the soldiers slowly backed away. Afraid. Because now they were no longer dealing with a human and a Thalkai. They were dealing with something new. Something bonded. Something dangerous. And unstoppable. Asterisk. The report hit the command station like a thunderclap. "The bond is complete." That was the message sent across the stars from the Thalkai enforcement unit. Inside the war room, cold faces turned grim. "The human must be removed," a general said. Another one added. "And the female? She has defied biological law." The ruling voice came from High Commander Aylin. "Send the order," he said. "Break the bond, at any cost." Zira sat on the floor, resting against Jack's chest, her body still glowing faintly, but weaker now, calmer. She looked up at him with soft eyes. "I feel like I'm finally breathing for the first time." Jack ran a hand through her hair gently. "You scared me. But you're here. That's what matters." They didn't speak for a moment. There was nothing to say. Just quiet peace. It wouldn't last. The base's intercom buzzed. Human Corporal. Jack Mason, report to Central Command immediately. Alone. Zyra's eyes darkened. No, she said. They're going to separate us. Jack stood slowly. Then I won't go. She touched his cheek. If you disobey, they'll arrest you. You need to go. But not without me. Jack nodded. We go together. They stepped into the hallway hand in hand. Soldiers stared. Whispers followed. Few looked afraid. Some looked disgusted. But no one stopped them. Until they reached command. 2 guards blocked the door. You. Only him. One said. Pointing at Zyra. Jack stepped forward. She comes with me. The guards raised their weapons. Zyra stepped in front of Jack and her. Markings flared. The guards lowered their eyes. Then the doors opened. Inside the council room stood 5 alien commanders and 1 human officer. Jack and Zyra entered calmly. Explain yourself. The lead alien barked. Jack answered. She was in pain. I helped her. We didn't plan this. You bonded with a non-human, the human officer growled. Do you understand what that means? I understand she's alive because of it, Jack said. Zyra stepped forward. And I will die if you take him from me now. A new voice spoke from the shadows. Low, cold. You should have died already. A tall alien bounty hunter stepped into the light. His armor was old. His eyes red. His skin dark gray. He wore a hunter's brand, meaning he hunted not just criminals, but exceptions. Who are you? Jack asked. I'm the correction, the hunter said. Then, without warning, he pulled out a weapon. Shot fired. Zyra screamed. Jack pulled her down just in time. Alarms blared. The hunter stepped forward calmly. You broke the code. Now I break you. Zyra grabbed Jack's hand. Run! They burst through a side door, racing down the hallway. The hunter followed slowly, whispering into a device. They're fleeing. Begin lockdown. Metal doors slammed shut behind them one by one. Sirens echoed. Zyra's body glowed, brighter, reacting to the danger. I can blast a way through, she said. No, Jack said. It'll drain you. She looked at him. If we don't escape, we're already dead. They reached the exit hatch, locked tight. Zyra pressed her glowing palm to the scanner. It sizzled and melted open. They ran out into the outer wilderness, rocky hills, glowing trees, purple sky. Behind them, the hunter followed with calm steps. But he wasn't chasing. He was tracking. Where do we go? Zyra asked, breathing hard. Jack looked at the old signal tower up ahead. We hide, then we fight. Zyra nodded, her eyes bright with fire. If they want to break the bond, she raised her glowing hand, they'll have to survive it first. Asterisk. The sky cracked open with thunder. Dark clouds swirled above the alien hills. Jack and Zyra hid inside the old signal tower. Broken wires hanging like vines. The walls shaking every time wind hit the rusted panels. But it wasn't the storm they feared. It was him, the bounty hunter. He was near. Too near. Jack peeked through a crack in the wall. Nothing yet. But Zyra was getting weaker. She lay curled on the cold floor, her skin glowing and pulses fading more each time. Jack sat beside her, holding her hand tightly. Stay with me, he whispered. She smiled faintly, eyes half open. I'm trying, but the bond, it's losing strength. Jack shook his head. No, you're not giving up, she coughed. If they take you, even a mile away, my body will shut down. Jack looked at her, truly looked. This wasn't just about a bond anymore. It was about choice, and he had already made his. I'm not leaving you, Zyra, not ever. Footsteps crunched on gravel outside. Heavy, slow, purposeful. The bounty hunter had arrived. The door creaked open. He stepped inside. With no fear, one glowing eye, one silent weapon. I only need to remove the human, he said calmly. You can live if you let him go. Zyra tried to sit up. No, Jack stood and blocked the hunter's path. "You'll have to go through me." "I plan to," the hunter said. He raised the weapon, but Zira screamed. The tower shook. Her body rose from the ground, glowing brighter than ever before. Her markings flared like white fire. The air turned electric. Even the hunter paused. "You think you can protect him?" The hunter hissed. Zira's voice was not weak anymore. It was strong, clear, sharp like thunder. "I don't need to protect him. We protect each other." She raised her hand. A pulse of energy burst from her skin. The hunter flew back, crashing through the metal wall and falling outside. Jack ran to her, caught her as she fell again, her strength drained from the blast. "Zira!" He held her close. She looked into his eyes, barely breathing. "I can't hold on." Jack pressed his forehead to hers. His heart pounded. He had never said it. Not until now, but she needed to hear it. Right now. "I love you, Zira." Her eyes opened wider. The light in them steadied. "You mean it?" She whispered. Double quotes, "Yes. I choose you." She smiled. And then the bond flared to life again. Light wrapped around them both. The tower walls shook but didn't break. Their hearts beat as one, and the energy stabilized. Between their bodies. No longer wild. No longer dangerous. Just right. Outside, the bounty hunter stood slowly, bleeding, bruised, but alive. He looked up at the glowing tower. The energy inside was beyond his reach now. The bond had sealed. Unbreakable. He tapped his cum. Mission failed. Then walked into the storm and disappeared. Back on base, the council received the final message. Bond completed. Status irreversible. The High Commander sighed. "Then we let them be," he said. "Why?" Another asked. "Because they survived what we feared. And maybe that fear was wrong." Days later, Jack and Zira stood under the alien sun. No longer hiding. No longer afraid. Soldiers walked by them without staring now. Some even nodded. The two of them stood side by side, one human, one alien, hearts connected in a way no one truly understood. Zira took his hand gently. And whispered, "You were never just my roommate." Jack smiled. "You were always something more." They walked forward, glowing softly together, and the stars watched them in silence.